Napoli, Napoli, Napoli!
What's going on, my fellow Napoletani and calcio enthusiasts? Welcome back to NNTV. We are fresh off a victory away at Genoa. We won 3-2, and due to a last-minute goal in stoppage time, of course, from Rasmus Højlund, from a penalty declared by Antonio Vergara, or as Steve likes to call him, Vergavezzi. So,
Vergavezzi. You got to get the other R in there. Vergavezzi.
I wouldn't say he's El Pocho, but I do see some similarities, but I don't know. Completely different game in my opinion, but I see what you're talking about when we talk about Vergara, which we will get into, of course, in this video as well, because we believe he is one of our next upcoming stars. So looking forward to chatting about Vergara. But first, let's get into some negatives. I know, starting the video off negatively. Gotta happen. So we are out of the UCL. As you can see, we lost against Chelsea at home. They won by 1 goal. I think even if we got a draw, we wouldn't have gone through, correct, with how it all panned out.
I don't know. I never tried to figure that out.
Either way, we took the L.
I think we had a chance if we drew.
Yeah, but I think after all the outcomes of the other relying matches, we wouldn't have gone through with a draw. And we were up 2-1 at one point as well. So that's that. So Debo, I know you have your little list of percentages of, who's to blame for the UCL exit so early. So if you did want to talk about that, go right ahead.
Like, I really thought that we were going to be able to perform much better in the Champions League, even with the injuries that we had. I mean, if you look at how we played against Chelsea, if we would have played like that and we had injuries, the rest of the league phase, we would have definitely went through. So it's disappointing to see us not go through when I think we all know for sure that we're a good enough team where we should at least be in the playoff phase, right? But the thing is like the blame, I think, is about half of it on Conte. And I put like 30% on his mismanagement of the players, especially when it comes to rotating players. I mean, we're looking at that right now with Vergara playing all of a sudden because we got all these injuries. But look how Vergara is playing. So why hasn't he played more to keep other players off the pitch some so that they're not overworked and they don't get injured? And maybe this is one of those years where Conte starts to learn a little bit about that because Vergara is killing it, right? So giving the young players more of a chance, even some of the players that maybe he doesn't fully trust, giving them a chance too, you know what I mean? And not just sitting them on the bench and not playing them at all, put them in the game. Ambrosino, I think, could have played more even. His agent, stupid, what is it, Giuffretti or whatever he is, all those comments he always makes, got Ambrosino, sent away. But I do think about 30% of it is on the mismanagement of the players. And some of that is probably the way that they're training. I mean, it's hard to deny that maybe some of these injuries, especially the muscular ones, have to do with the strenuous training regimen that Conte has. I mean, we've heard players talk about how hard training is, so we know it's not a myth. The players have talked about it. Even Lobotka did an interview earlier this year where he mentioned that. So, I mean, it's very likely that how they're training is also contributing to some of these injuries. And then, like, the coaching of the players too. I think that Conte has had moments where, he didn't really have the players doing what they need to do tactically. I think that an example of the mentality and how players are doing on on the pitch, like Buongiorno is really struggling right now. And that right there, I don't know how much coaching he's getting from Conte. Players always need coaching, man. I don't care if you're Michael Jordan. There's going to be moments where you need somebody to coach you a little bit, no matter how good you are. And not playing Vegata, why isn't Vegata played more? Is some of that to do with coaching and getting him, more adjusted to the system. I don't know, but I have to imagine that the coaching could have been done better too. And then injuries has to be one of the bigger parts. So I put about 20% on injuries. And then I also put about 20% on the summer transfer market. Like, it's obvious that Luca and Lang um, are terrible signings, and those were two of our biggest signings over the summer, and they didn't make any positive impact. I think Lang had one goal and one assist or something like that his entire time, and he's supposed to be the player that gets us out of our seat. Luca was supposed to be that guy that would make a difference for us in attack as one of our strikers, and he had one goal the entire time, and other than that, he didn't do anything. So I think that the summer transfer market was, it's probably like a little bit of a hit or miss with everybody all together, but I think that you got to put about 20% on that too, because two of our biggest signings didn't do anything, you know. So, 50% on Conte, 20% on injuries, 20% on the transfer market, and the last thing is 10% on Buongiorno. We're going to talk about Buongiorno in a separate segment, but Buongiorno has been a liability this entire season. I don't think we've had one game where he reminded us of the player he is, and that's really disappointing. And I'm still behind him. I'm not going to give up on him, but this summer's really, really important for him. I think it's late enough in the season that it's going to be extremely difficult for him to fix what's going on. I do think that some of it probably has to do with maybe him being a little bit apprehensive of getting injured again, and maybe that's not, maybe he doesn't have a clear head when he's playing. But I also think that there's just something mental, something with his confidence. I don't know what that is, and I wonder how much Conte has tried to talk to him with his struggles this year. You know, I, I don't know. Conte did come out and supported him after this match. He did the right thing by subbing him out. So those were two huge mistakes. But how much has Conte been talking to him throughout the year? I don't know. We'll never really know that, right? But I really do think that if we had to, look at one player and, you know, try to put any blame on a specific position and how we've performed and how we've given up penalty kicks and made huge mistakes in defense, I think Buongiorno is that guy that, for lack of a better term, gets the finger pointed at. But like I said, I'm not giving up on him. But he's got to get this shit fixed for sure.
Yeah,
So
I agree. We'll definitely go over Buongiorno later on in the video, but also with the summer transfer market, not only do we not see Lang and Luca perform to their standards, what we expected, but also, I mean, we're not really seeing much of Sam Bukama. And mind you, it's not really all his fault. He's just not getting enough playing time. Why? I don't know. As we've mentioned previously, last season he was literally one of the top defenders in the league, and we spent about 30 million for him. That's another big signing we're not really seeing on the pitch, especially dealing with all these injuries. I mean, we're seeing more of Juan Jesus, who lately has been showing his old self.
Yep.
But regardless, he's had a
he's
good
been
season for who he
yeah,
is.
he has, but for sure he's starting to become a liability too,
Yeah.
and that's really disappointing because of the fact that maybe it's gotten to the point where he's played a little bit too much and Bukum is not playing, and it's like, I don't know, man. Like that's another thing on mismanagement of the players, and does Bukum need some coaching? I mean, why isn't Conte playing him? I mean, Conte can't be a guy where he expects all the players to be completely 100% focused all of the time and are already at the level that they need to be no matter what their age is. No, man, coaching's part of your job, So yeah, what's the deal with Bukuma? I mean,
I mean, not even
He has
just
been like
it's not
what's
just
that?
about training either. Like it's about playing actual minutes in games.
Yep.
Training only
Yeah.
does so much.
Yep.
I mean, you can play against your own squad, and it's not even really, at least I would think so, not taken as seriously as a real regular game. Like, yes, obviously we know Conte, strains his players out and takes training very seriously. But when you play the actual game, I mean, you're talking a whole different level of, focus there. And if you don't get that experience, what are you really going to expect? I
Yep.
mean, we saw today, Inter rotated, you said 9 players, and
That's
they all look
crazy,
focused.
isn't it?
I mean, they won
That's
5-0 against a
crazy.
side in Sassuolo that they've struggled with in the history. Like Inter never dominates Sassuolo, especially like away. They've always been known as the Inter killers or the giant killers. That did not stand today from what we saw. I mean, 5-0 with rotational players. I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
man. To go back on Buchanan a little bit, like I think if there's a position that you need to have a rhythm, maybe goalkeeper is another one, but I think rhythm and chemistry is most important for the back line, for the center backs.
Yeah.
Like the spacing and knowing exactly where everybody's going to be, and the goalie and the back line communicating and knowing what everybody's doing. And Bukamed just he hasn't played enough to get any type of chemistry or rhythm. And you're right. The training's probably, very hardcore, but in a game, it's different. When you train, you don't have any of the other pressures going on. You don't have the pressure of the victory. You don't have the pressure of making a mistake and what that means for the game. You don't have the pressure of depending on where you're playing. You don't, there's so many factors in a game that you need to have actual game minutes to build a rhythm. And Bukaman, like, has he started like more than 2 games in a row? I don't even know. You have to go back and look at that, but it doesn't feel like he has. And there was a moment at the beginning of the season where like, oh, okay, he's gonna start playing now, and then all of a sudden he's not playing. It's like, what the hell? So you're spot on about Bukaman, man. Like he's another disappointment with the summer transfer market, but is it really about him? Like what's really going on there? Why isn't he playing more? So
Yeah. And also one last thing before we move on to the next subject. In training, you don't get much versatility with who you're playing up against. I mean, you're playing the same people over and over again. You can
yeah.
almost like predict what they're going to do at that point because you play with them so often.
Yep.
In these games, you have someone with pace who can run right by you, someone with technical ability who can dribble through you. Like, I mean, you just need to play in games to get this kind of experience. Training only does so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, for sure.
So, just like that, we are out of the UCL and not going to the playoffs or the group stage. That was the playoffs. The whole UCL format, us missing that 1 year when it first came out, still tricking me. And does it really matter? No, because we're not there. So that is that. Okay, so a little bit more negativity. Don't worry, we'll get to the positives here in a bit. Scudetto over. Personally, I think we should give up hope on the Scudetto. As I mentioned earlier, I mean, Inter are just a powerhouse this season. I mean, they've always been a powerhouse realistically, but this season, no one's keeping up with them. Yes, Milan could possibly be, 2 wins back if they do win their next game, and we are currently 3 wins back. Juve are 4. So yeah, Scudetto, in my opinion, just stop hoping for it. It's wishful thinking at this point. I'm just a realist. I don't like to be biased. Like, I always have great aspirations for my team, the team that I support. But if we're being realistic here with the circumstances that we're dealing with, I do not see it happening. Too many injuries. Yes, we're out of UCL now, which means that Conte only plays 1 game a week, obviously after the Coppa Italia, however far we get into that. But it's just too much that we're dealing with right now on the injury side of things. Also, mentally, I don't think all of our players are there, like Buongiorno. And he was a stout last season. He looked like a top defender, someone that we expected when we picked him up from Torino. Just isn't that guy this season. We're relying on guys like Juan Jesus to save us in the back line. Di Lorenzo out for God knows how long. I think it's like a month now, maybe like a month and a half. It was expected to be a lot
2 months
worse.
last I heard, yeah.
2 months, okay. So
Yeah, I don't think he should play again this season.
me neither. I think it's
Nope.
just heal up, get ready for next season. That's what we
Yep.
should be doing right now is just fighting for top 4 and getting ready
Yep.
for next season. So before we go into the next
Yep.
subject, I'll let you touch on the Scudetto. What do you think?
So if we get in position to even challenge for it, in my opinion, towards the end of the season, then it would be the biggest choke by a dominating team and the most incredible comeback by a team with the most injuries that I think any of us have ever seen in the history of the sports.
Yeah.
So with those two things combined, trying to tell yourself that we're still in a Scudetto race is just so unrealistic, man. Like I was holding out hope, I would say maybe 4 or 5 matches ago that Inter would start dropping points. They haven't.
No.
They've even had matches where they've went down, you're like, "Oh, here it's gonna happen," and then they come back and win. You
Yep.
know, so their mentality is exactly where it needs to be to run away with this thing. And I don't think that that's even debatable. I don't think anybody can come out and say that Inter is going to drop 9 points that they shouldn't drop, and that Napoli's never going to drop points and just go on a crazy winning streak, because that's what it would take at this point. So it sucks, but like you said, the circumstances make it near impossible. We've got to learn from this year, though, and we've got to make sure that we stay in the top 4. I really want us to shoot for top 3, to be honest. That's what I think the objective needs to be, is to be in the top 3 and to be above Juve. Right? Those are the 2 things that I want to see as a fan, and that I think the players should be thinking about and focusing on, one game at a time, and let's make sure that we don't drop out of the top 4, but I want top 3. Um so like I've always been the type of fan where I expect probably more than most fans, and that started in the Cavani era, man. But this year, to expect them to even challenge for the Scudetto, let alone win it, to challenge for it is just it's not realistic. It just isn't, and we can learn from it. Hopefully Conte will, learn from maybe some of the things that he could have did different with his rotations, maybe his training regimen. Maybe he's going to finally look at that and realize that he needs to cater that a little bit to keeping people more healthy.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that you have to imagine that the club is thinking is our sports physios, like the doctors, the therapists, the ones that are responsible to make sure that they are evaluating our players and they're ready to play, and that they are working with our players all the time 24/7 on good recovery. And then you have to put some of the blame on the players too with the recovery, right? That's part of their responsibility too. So I'm hoping that the entire club, from everybody from the top down, learns from this season with these injuries, and we have a season next year where the injuries isn't a big reason why we're not even going to compete for the Scudetto. So it sucks, because we definitely have a good enough team, one of the best coaches in the history of the sports, a great president, and fans that always believe. But we need to start tailoring back a little bit. And the last thing that we want to do as a fan base is we want to put too much pressure on the players, that we still expect them to challenge for a Scudetto, because it's hard pressed to think that any of the players are looking at themselves in the mirror and saying we can still do this thing. You know, it's I don't see them having that mentality. I think they have the mentality of we're gonna fight in every game and we're gonna try to win every game, but they got to rely on Inter choking. Then that's not an understatement, man. Inter would have to choke. It's not like Inter would have to have some type of bad form or anything like that. They would have to literally choke on their chicken to fucking to not win this thing for real. Like you said it, they rotated 9 players today. If you're able to rotate 9 players and win 5-0, there's no way that you're not going to win this thing unless you massively choke.
Yeah.
So,
Then another point, like, I mean, you could even say last season that they really choked it. Obviously, it wasn't, you know, a 9-point lead that they choked this far into the season, but you know, they lost by 1 point, and due to that, Pedro. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Also, you could mention the fact that, like, I do believe in Inzaghi. You know, historically is a better coach than Kivu. But if there's one thing that Kivu does much better than Inzaghi, that's rotation. He knows how to rotate his players. Inzaghi would play the same people over and over and over again. That's why Inter got burnt out last season, and you know they choked. Of course, they were in the UCL final. You know they were prepping for that. I'm sure they would want to win that more than Serie A, and they got humiliated by PSG. They just look
Yeah,
burnt.
but
They look burnt out.
not to get that victory versus Lazio at home
Yeah,
at the very end when that's what you needed.
it's
That
it's
that's a choke too.
it's tough. It is. Yeah,
Yeah.
but they literally just look
So,
burnt out.
yeah. And they're so far ahead now and they're performing at such a high level, like they're not going to be in a position at the end of the season where they have a moment where they, screw up a home game against some team that's mediocre. They have a chance, really. If we really want to be truthful about this, they have a chance to win this Scudetto with like 3 or 4 matches left. They really do. They're that good, and everybody else is not even close to them.
Yeah.
Milan's only playing once a week, but
They're drawing
honestly,
games that they shouldn't. They haven't lost
yeah,
in, I think, like
Milan's
11 to 12 matches or something like that, but they're just drawing games they shouldn't. They're dropping points
Milan's just not that good. Like Milan
compared to
can't go
Inter.
on some crazy, yeah, they can't go on some crazy run and win all these games, and Inter have a moment of bad form. Like those 2 things won't happen together.
Yeah.
So I don't think Milan has a realistic chance. They just have a little bit better chance than we do. Wait a minute. They have a better chance than we do. I'm not even going to say little. They have a better chance than we do, but it's still a long shot.
Yeah. So with Scudetto in our eyes, practically, you know, impossible to get, you know, due to the circumstances that we are fighting against. How about top 4? So I've been reading some like posts about people saying, you know, who should get like coach of the year, blah blah blah. And to me, it's surprising because I don't even see Conte on that poll, you know? And you got to think about, like, criticism aside, Conte is currently in 3rd place at the moment, right now, in 3rd place with the players that we have out there right now. Just think about that. Like, yes, we're not fighting for the Scudetto realistically, but I saw Spalletti's name up there. He's not getting no damn Scudetto. Let's just get that out the way. Not this season, at least. He's not. Allegri, yeah, 1 game a week, new squad. I can see it. Kivu, of course. But I saw those 3 names, nobody else, which is surprising. You know, I think Conte, even maybe Gasperini, should be up there. He's dealing with a whole new squad too, and mind you, with the pieces that he doesn't all want there, I'm pretty sure they'll go after somebody in this summer. But
Don't
I
let
don't know.
don't let Como don't let Como's creep in the top 4.
Fabregas also as well. I mean, he's very close. That's another point. They just play a little bit. I don't know. They play some crazy football. You know, for him to say, you know, to lose 3-4-5-0 and say, you know, we're not going to change the way that we play the game. I don't know. That was a little crazy. Anyways, Conte should be up there. All right. We're fighting for top 4 at this given moment. And I think we have a good chance of making it. Mind you, we're going to get some players back from injury. You know, it might take a while from now, especially with the whole Anguissa situation. First it was this, then it's that. We need him back drastically. Such an important key player, and man, you can tell when he's not on that pitch, man. There was months he was getting player of the month, player of the game, like 5-6 times, like, and then boom, injury, AFCON. Anyways, it sucks. So I think we will get in the top 4, but just barely. I don't think it'll be something where we're in 3rd. I think we will end up in 4th somehow, some way, but we do get into that UCL spot. There's still some tough games to go. We have Milan at home. We have Rome at home this next game. I think we still have. Do we have Como as well away? I believe so. I think we haven't played them
I
away
think that's
yet.
toward the end of the season.
That's another one. So we got
And they
Inter out
could
the
be
way,
fighting.
Juve out the way.
They could be fighting for
Really?
top 4, at least top 5 to get in Europe.
Yep. But even with what we're dealing with, I think we will get top 4. That's just what I think. But it won't be some dominant performances where we get into the top 3, close to 2nd and 1st. I think it'll be Inter and Milan fighting for the Scudetto. I think Inter will win it. Yeah, and I'm just being realistic. Bias aside, what do you think?
So if we don't get top 4, it's a massive failure. Like
I would think so. Yeah.
Anybody that would say not so, no matter what the circumstances are, we are still a better team than Como, Roma. It's going to be hard to say Juve, right? Because Juve is really performing good, and they got some star players playing really good, and Spalletti's really got them. Other than this last game where they got dominated by Palladino.
That was Coppa Italia, though.
But
They did manage
with
a last minute equalizer against Lazio at home. And Lazio is, this season. But they
say
got
that
away
again.
with that
What
one.
was that?
They managed to tie at home against Lazio in the extra time.
Who did?
Juve. They tied 2-2.
No, I didn't. Oh, I didn't check the final score today.
Yeah, they were down 2-1, and they scored at like the 90-something minute to tie it up. Yep.
Say that again. My earphones there's something wrong with my connection. What'd you just say?
They managed to tie at home 2-2 to Lazio after a last minute equalizer.
Oh man.
Yeah, they were gonna
lose 2-1?
Yeah. I think they had like 30 shots as well that game. It's crazy.
Who scored the equalizer?
Honestly, I'm not sure what his name is. I know that McKennie scored a header across.
Dude, man,
and this other guy
McKennie
did
is
too.
like going crazy this season.
Yeah, McKennie's doing pretty good. Both of the U.S. studs
Oh my
in Italy
God.
are doing pretty good.
Kalulu scored it.
There you go. Kalulu, who they also got from Milan. There you go. Sorry, I couldn't remember his name. Yeah.
Damn it, man. Well, I think that Juve is going to be somebody that's going to be in the running for top 3 at the end. I think what we need to do to keep the mentality the way that it needs to be satisfied for the year is we need to get top 3. We don't need to be getting top 4 and we're just scraping by to get it, and we need to finish above Juve. I think that is extremely important for the culture of the club, for the fans, and how we feel about how they did this year. I think it's extremely important that needs to be the objective. And there's no reason why, especially with players that we're getting back soon, there's no reason why we shouldn't have that as a focus and an objective. You know what I mean? I do see what you're saying about top 4 because of the circumstances is the expectation or the goal. And that is ultimately the real goal, right? But I think that you want to get top 3 and you want to finish above Juve.
Yeah.
That's what I want for sure. 100%.
That would be nice, but I would realistically just be happy getting in the top 4.
No, my happiness is top 3. Satisfied with top 4, but happy about top 3. That's where I'm at.
That is fair. Okay.
And above Juve. I don't want fucking Juve to get like fucking second place or some shit. That'd be a nightmare.
All right. So strolling away.
There's Juventini that are talking about how we're on the Scudetto race.
No, that's between Inter and Milan.
Pulled out a draw against Lazio at home. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. After a embarrassing loss 3-0 to an Atalanta side that's not been very good this season. at least
Future
in their
coaches,
in the domestic competition. But
our future coach did that to him, man.
pss, wishful
That's our
thinking there
future
too. We'll
coach.
see.
No, man, Conte one more year next year, and then Palladino's gonna make that step.
We'll see.
Watch.
Unless the EPL club picks him up for more money. All right, so the Coppa Italia. I don't know if all of you guys watching were Napoli fans when we won with Marek Hamsik and Edinson Cavani, but those are good memories, so I had to put them up there. You know, it's an excuse to put a Hamsik graphic up there. Anyways, we play Como up next, who, as we know, gave us trouble in our last match. We tied 0-0. That was such a dreadful match too, man. Dreadful, dreadful match. We have them up next, and after them, we play Red Hot Inter in the semifinal. So I don't know. I think Inter would rather want to play Como, obviously, you know, given that we always give Inter trouble.
Well,
Como,
yeah, and the way Como
least-
plays too.
yeah, and they swept by Como with ease, which we did not. So this will be a hard game for us personally, but I think we'll manage to come up with the W. I know Como
Even if
are going to play
even
very hard.
if McTominay doesn't
I
play
don't
because it looks
even
like
want
he's
to
not,
think
which is
about
what
another
he should be.
injury. I don't want to even.
No,
think about
McTominay.
it.
The things that I'm reading is that McTominay's probably not going to play this game, not to risk him because the Roma game's more important.
Oh Lord.
And I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, I don't either, but that's just unfortunate. Yeah, even without McTominay, screw it. Even without McTominay, I think we'll manage to scrap by and get the W. The match can't end 0-0. It's going to go to penalties if we tie that long, you know. So we'll see. What do you think? I think it'll be 2-1, 2-1 Napoli.
I think 1-0 Napoli. I think Conte is going to realize that without McTominay, he's going to need to play a scrappy, ball possession type of game, keep it away from Como, and just hopefully get, a goal from somebody from like a magical moment or something. And if not, go to penalties. I think that's going to be Conte's approach.
Let's not forget, when we take a 1-0 lead, we are undefeated this season. We have not dropped any points. So that'd be pretty important in general to get up 1-0. However,
another crazy stat, man, that I saw come across the TV yesterday is that whenever McTominay has scored his entire career, we've never lost.
Not even draw.
Insane, bro.
Not even draw?
No, we drew some, but we've never lost.
Yeah, well, we can't draw this game. But that is crazy.
Well, McTominay's not going to play. I really don't think that he's going to play. So, like, it won't really matter about that. But I think we can pull out a 1-goal win, man. I think it's going to be 1-0.
Okay. I would agree with you, usually with a Conte side winning 1-0. But this season, we have not been, very effective defensively. At least holding to that 1-0 standard that we're used to with Conte, no matter what team that he plays with. It just hasn't been the same. I think we'll have to get 2 goals to at least manage to try and beat Como. I don't think 1-0 will be enough. And we know that Fabregas likes to play some attacking football, which is odd because against us, it wasn't very attacking. It was
0-0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't have many chances either. We had more chances. We had more XG or whatever it's called, XG. So I don't know. We'll see how he approaches this match. I think Conte will do what he does and try to win a scrappy game. But I think we managed to get by Como. We'll see.
You know what I would love to see in this game? Not predicting it, but I would love a 1-goal victory towards the end of the match, and Elmas is the guy that gets the goal. The crowd would go fucking berserk.
Yeah. Has he gotten a goal this season for us? Yeah, I know he had one that was called offside.
No, man, he hasn't scored.
Yet. Nope. That sucks. Maybe this will be the game.
I hope so.
Because we know that he's going to play. 100%. All right. So that's it for the Copa. We're predicting a win. Not an easy one, but a win. Now let's get into some more.
One more thing about that, though.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like we have I don't want to call it hope, but do you feel like we have an opportunity where we can win the Copa? Like, do you feel confident, no matter who we play, that we can beat them and we can end up winning in the final?
Yeah, I mean, we've managed pretty well against Inter, right? And then we'd have to play either Atalanta or Milan on the other end, right?
I think Juve's still in it, isn't they?
Is it Juve that's still in? No, Juve lost against. No, they lost against Atalanta.
Oh, that's right. My bad, dude. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
your
just
mind
lost.
is
Yeah,
just
yeah.
completely blank off of
Yeah,
Juventus. Huh?
yeah. I forgot
Don't even
about that
blame you.
blowout, that
Don't even
choke of
blame
a
you.
game. Yeah.
Don't pay attention to him. But yeah, it's either Milan or Atalanta. Who I'd rather definitely play Atalanta for sure. I'd want to stray away
Do you
from
think it's
Milan.
a good thing or a bad thing that we have to play Inter before the final? Would you rather play them in the final or would you rather play them in the semis?
Not get out of the way. If we can't beat them, we would win the Copa. That's my view on it. You know, if we beat them in the semifinal, that's a huge confidence boost for the
Do
very
we
important
play
game.
them at home? We do, right? Because
I believe so,
we
because we
won
still
the
have that
Scudetto
advantage
last
from
year,
Mhm.
so we get to play them at home too. God, man, we
Yeah.
can win this thing.
Mhm.
So that's the other thing, right? Like, even though we didn't get into the playoff phase of the UCL, and we're definitely not gonna win the Scudetto, we won the Supercoppa, and if we win the Coppa Italia and we finish top 4, nobody in their right mind, with the circumstances at hand, can say that that doesn't make us happy for the season. Like, I take back what I said. As long as we win the Coppa Italia, if we win the Coppa Italia and we get top 4, I'll be happy.
I'd be satisfied. I'm not really too
Oh
fond.
wait, it's got to be above Juve though. Still need to be above Juve no matter what. Them fuckers, man.
You're
I don't
obsessed.
want them to finish ahead of us, man. I'm so glad they didn't win today. Wow.
Tighten your
I was off
seatbelt
doing
because
stuff, so I
they're
only
very
saw the
close.
very beginning. Like I noticed that I think McKinney. No, was it who was it? Coop Miners. Did you watch the game? Coop Miners had a goal called off for offsides or something.
It
I
touched
was
the
like,
player's
okay, that's
leg.
a good sign. Oh,
They were very
man.
unfortunate in this game. I'm not gonna lie. They had 30 shots. They didn't play terrible. Like they actually played well. I think that
How
they
many of
should have
those were?
won, but
How
Provadel just
many of
had.
those shots were on goal? What was the XG? I'm checking footmob real quick.
Oh, I know it was definitely higher than Lazio's. Provadel just had an outstanding match. Yeah.
Oh man, the momentum chart had them.
hmm
Whew. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
XG for them was 284. And Juve and Lazio's was just above 1.
Yeah.
4 shots.
hmm
8 shots on target, and they only got 2 goals. Dude, was their goalie making crazy saves or
Provadel.
something?
hmm
What's up
He had
to
an
say? What
outstanding
did their
match.
goalie do? Oh, D Gregorian 4.9.
Damn. I didn't realize it was that low.
Oh my god, he had a
The,
4.9. Man, it's all
the
red
second
and
goal
shit.
was the second goal. Actually, yeah, both goals are kind of tough to get. One of them was a deflection off of Bremer, and the other one was like a rocket from E27, or however you pronounce his
Dude,
name. The guy that always scores crazy goals against us.
Bremer had a bad game in that Copa game, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. He
Yeah.
did.
Love to see it.
All right. So next
Juve
up,
drops points.
we're going to talk about a possible future star for Napoli. At the moment, he is shining, and that is Antonio Vergara, or as the boys call him, Vergaravezzi. I will not be doing that. There's only one Porsche in my eyes. One Porsche.
What's that?
There's only one Porsche in my eyes. No one.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm just having fun with it. You know that.
Yeah.
But I like the thing that does remind me of Lavezzi with him though is his grinta and passion on the pitch, man. Like he is 100 miles an hour, bro.
Yeah.
And then when he got popped in the face and didn't get a foul and had a bloody nose, and I don't know, man, he's a player that, dude, nobody will ever be able to replace Posho in my heart. But Vegata might be the player that makes me at least feel the same type of emotions again. I love watching the dude play, man.
I mean, yeah. So let's talk about him just a little bit. He's a homegrown talent with real technical quality. He's tactical. His tactical versatility is definitely there. I mean, we see his ability with dribbling the ball, whether it's down the field with pace or technically around players. He uses his body very well whenever he is dribbling the ball. I think he has a good shot. Passing IQ is there. Obviously, he's still
that shot against Fiorentina, Madi, you see how he broke down
Yeah.
and didn't lose his composure in front of goal. You know, that was really good for a young player, man. And
Yeah.
that's definitely not Pocho-esque.
Yeah. You know,
We
it's crazy.
remember Pocho would miss a lot of goals that he should score.
Yeah. Posho, his shooting ability wasn't, you know,
It is because he was
really.
going 120 miles an
Yeah.
hour no matter where he was on the pitch. He
Yeah.
couldn't
He
slow
wasn't known
down.
for his shooting. Like, yeah, he could score
Yeah.
goals every now and then, but he wasn't known for that. He was known for driving the team down the line and
Yeah.
creating something, you know, whether it's by
I
himself or.
remember, dude, man, remember those runs where he would just go all the way to the end line and then just pass it back in front of goal and Hamsik would pounce on it? Oh,
Yeah,
Hamsik,
the classic
Cavani.
one
Oh
touch
my
on
God,
speed
it
goal,
was such.
just the rocket with the side of his foot, just blasting in there. Oh, yeah, those are good times. Those are good times.
Yeah.
So this kid definitely embodies like Napoli's identity and culture and spirit, I guess you can say. You know, I mean, like I said, he's homegrown. God, I mean, when's the last time we've seen a Napoletano from the youth academy play this well for us? I can't think of nobody.
Insigne.
He's not Napoletano. He's a little bit down the ways. I'm talking about a
Oh,
true Napoletano.
yes, he is. No, man, he's still Napoletano, man. Insigne is still he's from the suburbs, like Frate Maggiore, dude. Friend, Frate Maggiore and Frate Minore are right next to each other, I think.
All right, Insigne too, whatever. Insigne,
Yeah,
Mr.
man, he's
Lorenzo, whatever.
Napoletano, man. You can't take that
Should have
away
never
from
been a
him.
captain for us. Terrible captain.
No, yeah, 100%. The worst captain
That
in
guy's
the
not
ADL
captain
era, and
material.
it's not even a debate. Yeah.
Anyways, Insigne was a great player. Okay, like personal bias aside, I don't like the guy as a person. I don't. Player wise, yeah, he was good, but in terms of what Napoli needed, captain wise, cut it out. Not a good captain. Cut it out.
Zero leadership.
Zero.
He led the mutiny, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and the things that we've heard about him in the locker room that were proven facts, by the way, it's not just rumors. I mean, we got hands on. You know, no, he was terrible as a captain. Okay, can't tell me otherwise because I know what happened in there. Sorry, just how it is. And I met the guy 3 times. I could definitely see it. All right.
Yeah, man.
You got
Like the
5 or
way he
6
treats
players
fans
talking about
too.
how this guy is and how he's arrogant, he's egotistical. Like, yeah, you can be a good player, but are you really good for the team? I don't know.
He held us back. He 100% held Napoli back
Yep.
too much in his career. He had moments of brilliance, had one great year statistically,
Very
but
good year. I
his
remember that.
inability to lead and inability to be that guy when we really, really needed him to be held Napoli back, man. Like
Yeah,
I
his
firmly
his
believe
character
that.
held the team
Yeah,
back for sure,
yeah.
especially when you have that armband on. You expect a lot from your captain, and that's not all meaning like performance wise. Like Di Lorenzo, we know he hasn't been a great performer, but in terms of being a captain, he's miles and above Insigne, even through what we're going through right now. He's still miles above and beyond Insigne as a captain.
Yep. Yep.
That role just takes a specific type of person, and he was not it. Anyways, that was a Lorenzo Insigne rant. I'm glad to get it off my chest. I'm not gonna lie.
So let's not leave Vegeta quite yet.
Okay.
One thing that I can't not be concerned about is once Politano is back to match fitness, that Conte will start Politano instead of Vegeta.
Now, I don't think he will if Vergara still plays the way that he's been playing. If he's consistent enough, like we saw Neres still playing whenever Politano was healthy. I think it'll be the same with Vergara. I think Conte has learned his lesson with the whole Politano thing. Surprisingly, I'm very surprised.
I hope so. Like I'm scared that it's going to take one bad match from Vegeta for Conte to feel like he has an excuse not to start him in the next match.
You could say the worst
We're
match
not
that he
playing-
played was against Genoa, and that wasn't even that bad. I mean, he caused a penalty to go our way. So
Yeah, and the play before that, or maybe was it the same play where he drove the ball down the field and got it to Gutierrez? Was that the same player just before that? That was like him having the ability to do that at the end of a game. He's obviously 100% match fit to play all 90 minutes. So, like, if we're up 2-0 at the very end of the game, 3-1, we got a 2-goal lead. Okay, Politano can come in, man, and stretch his legs. But if we ain't, Vegata need to be in the fucking game because he can pull shit out of his ass. Politano ain't pulling a fucking pineapple out of his ass. So I'm saying, man, I'm concerned about that shit. And I'll be pissed off. I'll change my Conte management and coaching of players as being 50% of the problem UCL to 90% of the problem of not making top 3. You know what I mean? I am waiting for Conte to make the right fucking decision on ensuring Vegata is starting. If he wants to rest Elmas and play Politano, or put Elmas in the midfield and play Politano, okay, fine. But don't fucking sit Vegata when he's doing what he's doing right now. Don't fucking screw it up.
You know, with
I am already pissed off because I'm concerned that it's going to happen.
you know, with Di Lorenzo, I think Politano should play in his position.
Yeah,
He's our
that
best
too.
option there.
That too, man. As long as Vegata's fucking playing, I don't want to see if Politano's on the pitch, Vegata better be on the fucking pitch too, man. That's all I'm saying.
Fair point. You good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm just already pissed off about it happening. I am. Like, I've been thinking about this since he scored in the Champions League. Politano's like, he's warming up. Politano's on the bench, you know. Fuck, bro. We need to sell that dude over the summer. Sell him. Get rid of that freaking annoyance.
He's retiring as a Napoli player. All right. So let's go over the match against Genoa. So, man, this one was crazy. I'm not going to lie. You know, the fact that we managed to run away with a win here was huge because if we didn't get all 3 points this game, you might as well just put the nail in the coffin on the Scudetto run, right? Like, obviously, you know, it's the nail is in the coffin, but the hammer isn't going quite through just yet, right?
You're saying like the nail's like 80%.
It's just hanging by a little thread, right? Like the hammer hasn't quite gone all the way through. In my eyes, I think the hammer's gone through, but technically, you could still have hope, and I admire that, right? I do. I'm not gonna just say you're an idiot because you think not. No, I think it's a little bit foolish, right? A little too hopeful, but I'm not gonna say that, you know, you're dumb for thinking that. I get it. Anything could happen. Inter could start flopping away or relying on too much UCL play and not rotating players out of nowhere. Injuries too, which I hate to say. I don't wish injuries on anybody. I don't wish on anybody. That can happen.
Yep. If the injury bug, you know, gets on them, like imagine if they lose DeMarco and Lautaro for like 3 or 4 games.
Is the MVP of the season so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, anything can happen, right? And then Milan could freaking win the Scudetto still. I mean, they're closer to them than we are, and I think they have a better chance. In all honesty, anything can happen, right? We're a little bit past halfway through the season here, and still got some hard matches to play on all ends: Juve, Napoli, Milan, Roma, Como, and Inter. So we'll see. But anyways, we had an early setback, obviously, with the like a penalty, 30 seconds in, something like that.
Hey, you know something, man, about that penalty? Just because of all the controversy with Vegata's penalty, made a lot of people look at that penalty given and like it's questionable when you really get it into slow mode. Like let
me get this.
But their striker, the one thing for sure that you can tell is their striker started to go down before Medit made contact.
Yeah, but even if he wasn't going down,
and that's what a lot of people are saying about Vegata's penalty is that Vegata went down too easy. You know what I mean? So if you're gonna harp on the Vegata penalty not being one, you know, don't fucking be biased and look at the Medit penalty with clear eyes because their striker started to go down even before he got hit.
Listen, to Serie A standards this season, from what we've witnessed, throughout all games, all teams, the Vergara penalty is approved in my eyes, and the penalty against Medet is also approved. Yes, Vergara, it was a soft call, quote unquote. You might have gone down too easy, but the foot went on top of the other foot with no ball in the area. The ball was the other way, and Vergara was going that way, and the guy stepped on his foot. No ball touched. Might
I
have
don't
been
think it really
soft.
stepped on his foot. I think he clipped his ankle. I don't think it was a step
From
on.
the angle I saw, he stepped on his foot. Either
Okay.
way, he touched an important body part that goes to get the ball and stopped him from doing so, right?
Yeah, man, and you've got some out there that are saying, well, he was going away from the goal. So what are you telling me? Like, are you telling
He's
me
in the
that
box.
every penalty that's called, if the player's not going right towards the
Yeah,
goal,
that's
that
bullshit.
defenders can just clip their ankles? I mean, come on,
Yeah,
bro.
no.
Like,
And also,
he could make a turn and then have a shot.
yeah.
So that going away from goal crap,
So
I don't agree with that, man.
you're saying against Chelsea when he made that one spin move to go towards the goal, he's going away from the goal for that
Right?
second, doing the spin move, going looking the other
Yeah,
way. So like
for
you're
sure.
saying, if he got touched there, it's not a penalty. No, that's stupid.
Yeah.
That's just ignorance,
Yeah.
right? And plus, VAR has not been going our way this season. It hasn't. So it's about time that Morata League, gives us a little something, make it ADL League just for that one time, right? So all that complaining, all that, bro, relax. Specifically the Inter fans, man, relax, man. You guys are good, bro.
Hey,
You're up
Mario,
9 points. What
I'm
are you
not.
worried about, bro?
Listen, man, I'm not gonna say who it was because I'm not gonna call him out right here. But I was in WhatsApp with somebody, happens to be a Juve fan, trying to call the league the ADL League. Can you believe that shit?
I already
Like,
know
he's
what
the
that is.
ADL League.
I
You
already know what
guys
that is.
got gifted a victory. It's the ADL League.
Lord. Yeah, if it was
You
an
believe
ADL,
this
we'd be
guy,
at fucking
man?
20 points right now. Give me a break.
Yeah,
Whatever.
man.
They would
He's just
shut
trying to
down
get a
our whole
rise out of
fucking
me, probably.
winter market and shit. Whatever. Get out of here. Nah, come on now. Anyways, so the first half, how he managed to scrap by and get those two beautiful goals, both to the hands of McTominay, realistically, because the Hoyland one was just a tap in from a McTominay shot.
Yep.
From nearly outside the box, right? And then
Mhm.
McTominay giving us that second goal. Beautiful curler from outside the box, way far out too. Man,
This chicken was a rocket, man.
a tough shot, and it curled. That's what caught the goalie off guard.
Yeah,
He had
it
a
did.
body in the
Yep.
way, and it curled. Like he knew he
Yep.
was going that way, but then the ball just started curling.
Yeah, man.
What a glow up for McTominay, man. Must be said. We'll get into McTominay as the last topic of the video, regarding extending him. But yeah, and then Genoa, they managed to make it 2-2, and then Napoli were reduced to 10 men after that Juan Jesus spread, and you were thinking, damn, well, now we got to worry about just getting a tie. But what I will give credit to Napoli for doing is not respecting Genoa and still playing high-pressure football and wanting to get that win.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about mentality being kind of an issue this season, but there's one thing that they do well is constantly fight. You can still fight.
Resilience. Yep.
Resilience. Yes. You can still be resilient with a kind of mentality, right? You're still just fighting with pure grit, right? And that's the side that we know when being coached by Conte. Even last season, it was nothing but gritty football. As Mike Grillo would say, it's not beautiful football, it's gritty football, right? It's just not going to work this season. Not anymore. We got to worry about top 4. So that's that. We ran away with a W.
Top 3.
Top 3. Yeah. What if Juve doesn't even make top 4? What if Roma hops up right over Juve? That's still possible too.
I don't know, man. Roma does. I would.
Still possible.
I think Como. Man, I don't know, man. It's a toss up between Como and Roma. Who's gonna finish ahead of one another?
I would like to see Como in European football.
Me too.
Care about Roma. I really do.
I'd like to see Como get top 4. I would like us to be 3 and Como to be 4. That's what I want. That's what I want.
Yikes! You know how upset you Juventus fans would be after all this hope with
all this Spalletti ball, just making them think that they have a Scudetto race on their hands.
Yeah,
they're going to be in the fucking race next year, though.
Next year, yes, I believe so as well. I don't want to talk
They're
about
gonna
next
be
year right now,
they're gonna be one of the favorites next year, and I fucking hate it. Yep.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun seeing them going back to the top. It was a good 5 years, though. It was good. It's great 5 years, But I don't know.
Almost
Right
as good
now,
as our two Scudetti.
yeah. But right now, we got to worry about Inter. They seem to be the team that's in first and far beyond anybody at this given moment. So we'll see. Anyways,
Luckily, Inter's getting one more year older. Luckily,
yeah,
if there's anything that's going to be their demise,
yeah,
it's going to be the age of their squad
yeah.
to end this run.
Okay, some more negativity. Sorry, just how it is. Got to talk about this guy right now. Buongiorno or buonanotte. To me, it's buonanotte. You might think otherwise. I don't want to see this guy on the pitch anymore. I can't take it. From what I've
So
counted,
is
it could be
it
more or less.
Buonanotte? Is it Buonanotte with no more Buongiorno, or is it Buonanotte with another day in the horizon?
I don't know yet. If he keeps doing what he's doing, because I've already counted 6 mistakes, 6 critical mistakes that led to goals, 3 being penalties, either with a hand or a foul, and then 3 just with terrible, terrible defending. 6 already. And how many matches has he played this season? Not very many. He's been injured. And I don't think it's an injury thing
Most
where
of those
he's,
have probably
bouncing
caused us to
back
lost
from.
point. I
Yeah.
bet if not all, most of those have caused us to lose points. Well, other than the Genoa match, what am I saying? Yeah.
Could have been one, though. Could have been another one.
Yeah, so I'm not giving up on him, man. I do think that this year he's not going to be able to get back to himself. I don't think that we can expect that,
Nope.
especially after this one. But I do think that there's still a defensive player of the year candidate in that dude. He probably needs just a break. Needs the summer to just go and see a psychiatrist or something and figure out why he can't keep his mind straight and remember who he is. You know what I mean? I don't want to give up on him yet, man. He's way too good of a player to give up on him.
I'm exaggerating, right? Obviously, we know he probably still, talent like his, you just have very, very high standards, but he's been playing piss poor.
He's one
6
of the
critical
worst center backs
mistakes.
in the league
At this
right now.
moment, yes, he is. It's that bad. I don't understand how you go from one of the best defenders in the league to this in pretty much half a season because he hasn't played that many games. It's really only took half a season. And
The
I'm,
one
I'm
thing,
not I'm not blaming it on his injury. No, because
Yeah.
he looks perfectly fine physically out there. We know he has the
The one
talent. It's a
Yeah.
mentality thing, plain and simple.
So the one thing that does worry me is if it is about him being worried about getting hurt again. Because those are like that part of a player's mentality is probably the hardest thing to get over is that feeling of being anxious all the time that you're going to get hurt again. So I hope that's not it.
That's a good
I
point.
hope it's just a confidence thing and maybe he's got some stuff going off the pitch that we don't know about and that's affecting him. I mean, I don't know, man, but I don't want to give up on him quite yet. I want to see him come back next year. Let's see how he does the first half of the season. And if he's mediocre, then we got to ship him out in January of next year.
Yeah.
So let's give him one summer to try to get back to being himself.
Listen, it's one thing when you have fans criticizing you and not supporting you anymore, right? But when your own players and coach don't say anything bad about you, knowing you caused 2 huge mistakes that led to Genoa even being in the game, that's a good sign. It means that there's still something there. They just got to figure it out. He's got to figure out this
And
guy.
the majority of the fan base, at least in Napoli, is still behind him too. Like there are people that are freaking out, but the majority is still behind him. So that's important too. I think that maybe there's maybe a little bit too many that are, outside of the city that are over exaggerating and wanting just to get rid of him. But the Napoli fans themselves are still behind him overall. Once
Yeah.
that goes away, though, now we got a problem.
Definitely. Yeah.
So hopefully that doesn't happen.
So for now, it's buonanotte until proven otherwise. Agreed?
Yeah. But let's let him have buonanotte the rest of the season. Let's not expect him, the next match to be buongiorno again. You know what I mean?
Wake up, buongiorno. Wake up. Okay. In my opinion, damn, this could be -2. Well, not really. I think it's positive we let those two go. Under their deals, not so sure. 2 loans. I think Lang will perform enough to make them buy because it's a
Yeah,
whole
because of
different
the way
league.
Gala plays.
That too. Luca, I am worried about. Yes, we just saw he scored on his debut. Beautiful header. Wow, Luca. Keep that up. Keep that up, man. I hope you
Yeah, that's all
succeed.
I want.
Nothing but success.
I want him
Lorenzo
to get
Luca
like
there.
fucking 20 goals, man.
Oh, I hope so.
Score 20 goals. Do it.
EPL, 30, 40 million to them is nothing, right? Chump change. He can get 5 or 6, and I think they would see hope in
I hope
the
so.
Luca. I really do. On the other hand, who we've acquired in the winter market.
He's been
I
a
already knew.
nightmare so far.
I already knew.
You
that.
already knew it like that?
Oh, come on. This guy. I gave him some, he still has a chance, right? Given the team that he played for, worst possession in Serie A. Still managed to get I think 3 goals, but playing so many damn games as a striker, that's kind of what you do, right? No matter how bad your team may be. Yeah, this was just a desperate signing. Someone that was available, that was a striker that, maybe Conte saw potential in him, but I already gave Lorenzo Luca the benefit of the doubt for far too long, in my opinion, right? I was just trying to be a nice guy. I'm not giving this guy the benefit of the doubt. I don't have time for that. Not with what we're dealing with. I need Lukaku to start playing more minutes again. I think it's time, man. I think it's time we start seeing Højlund and Lukaku up top. The day that comes when we have Anguissa back in the midfield with Kevin De Bruyne passing, it's going to be good. I really do think it's going to be good. I think we're also underestimating that as fans that, yeah, it's still quite a bit of games away. But the moment that those two come back and are on the pitch at the same time, with McTominay there, of course, we're going to have the best midfield again in Serie A. Just how it is.
I know, man. I'm going to be straight up right now.
That's what I think's going to happen.
I'm going to be straight up right now with the midfield. When Zombo comes back, if him, McTominay, and Lobo are dominating the midfield like we know they can, bro, we're only playing once a week. Maybe KDB was just, a couple million followers and that's it. I'm being straight up. If Zombo, Lobo, and McTominay are dominating the midfield,
we're going to find a way.
Why would we screw that up? We're not playing in the Champions League anymore.
I do not see KDB coming off the bench with 1 game a week. Nope.
I don't think that's a good thing. I really don't.
I
really don't think it's a good thing. I think the only way that you could say something about that where it's like, okay, maybe him and Zombo rotate to keep them both, from getting hurt again. If we did that, I can live with that. I can live with it. As long as KDB is performing, I can live with it. But the moment that KDB comes in, I don't care if it's the first game. If he is not making a positive impact in that game and Zombo's sitting on that bench, it's time to tell KDB, hey, thanks, bro. You got us a little bit more followers on Instagram. You gave us 1 great game with Højlund. Yeah, and the other thing too, man, is we need to keep Lobo for 1 more year. So if you're sitting Lobo and now Lobo's like, okay, what's going on here, bro? Like,
him and McTominay are the last 2 that we would
I'm just saying, all I'm saying is if you do that and then don't even try to sit McTominay, if Zombo comes back, he's coming back before KDB, and Zombo's balling out and he's getting player of the match, if he gets like a player of the month, how are you going to realistically tell yourself
He's gonna implement all of them again. That's what's gonna happen. He's gonna do it. You know he is. You know he's gonna implement. The reason he got these players is to put them all on the field at once. Obviously, that he can rotate them when need be, but what are we gonna rotate for now?
I think that's what I think. If there was one way that I would prefer for Conte to approach it once KDB is match fit, rotate him and Zombo. Even give McTominay a break because of all the minutes that he's played this year. Give McTominay a break against Lecce at home or some shit, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Right? Give Lobo one break. Like if he looks at it that way, he's like, okay, I'm going to give Zombo a break now. Then I'm going to give, if it's something like that and we don't just freaking see KDB on the pitch starting in every single game, unless he's fucking killing it, that's different. But has KDB killed it this year? One match. One match he killed it with Højlund in that Champions League game. What was it, against Sporting? That's the
Yeah.
only match anybody can remember where you're like, ooh, KDB special again.
Well, that's the moment that we were in for, like a magical moment, because we know that he's produced so many in his career, but we also know he's not the same guy he used to be. With his injuries, he's just not the same guy. Now with this injury, who knows what he's gonna do?
Yeah, and the thing is since that, why does he need to be the same guy as a starter? He doesn't need to start all the time.
Yeah, it's true.
We'll see. We'll see what happens there. But one thing I can say, I know we don't have a banner about KDB anymore because he's been out, but the other thing that's disappointing is his involvement with the team, man. Like, I don't really see him getting on
he
social.
commented on the Di Lorenzo's injury status.
Yeah, like after everybody else did too. Like he ain't getting on social media and trying to pump anybody up, trying to get more eyes on our club and shit. Isn't that one of the reasons we signed him? Well, I guess not, because he ain't doing it. That's disappointing.
Yeah. All right. The Super Bowl is on. So let's wrap up this last topic.
Shit, okay. Did it already get? Does a kickoff already happen? Is it already started?
Happen. It's Sam Darnold.
Oh shit, okay.
Awful, but the Seahawks are still up 3-0. Anyways, the McTominay contract. So we know that he signed in June of 2024 on a 5-year deal with, I believe, an annual salary of around 4.5 to 5.5 million, around that range.
Obviously, say that again.
About 4.5 to 5.5. That's what I saw. His annual salary.
That's what he's. Hold on. No, I didn't catch the beginning of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he was offered?
That's what he's getting per year right now. 4.5 to 5.5.
Are you sure that's how much he's getting? I don't think so, man.
Let me do a quick fact check, because that's definitely
check that real quick.
Saw. Annual
Look at that.
salary.
I don't think he's getting that much. I think he's getting 3.
Nope. Annual salary 5.56, 4.75. Weekly wage 107K, 91.4K. Yeah, that's what he gets annually.
Maybe that's the maybe what I saw was something like after taxes, and you're looking at before taxes.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's what I see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he was also earning a lower salary at Man U. It was about 3.12, so we give him a little raise, little pay raise. So I don't know. That's what I saw. So
okay.
So I'm thinking sign him for, like, I don't know, a 2-year extension, get him in until 2032. If possible, give him an extra 1.5 to 2 million a year, make it like 7 or 8 mil per year. I think it's fair game. That's what I think.
I agree. I was thinking that he was getting 3 and we need to give him 6.5. Yeah. So like the way you're talking, yeah, that's fine with me. But here's the thing, man. So like ADL is going to give him the first offer. That's just the way it works, right? Players don't like initiate the negotiations. The owners do. So ADL going to give him his first offer. And the way that negotiations work in almost every situation, the player and his agent's going to come back and want a little bit more. So when that happens, ADL, sign the fucking paper. Don't fucking do anything else.
Too much.
Don't do anything else except sign the fucking paper.
Yep.
The negotiation is, here's your offer. McTominay is going to come back and ask for this.
Can you take it?
Give him what he asks for.
Yeah.
Point blank.
McTominay wants to be
Don't
here.
fuck
You know
this
what I
up
mean? Like
like
he
you did
enjoys
with
the city.
Cavada.
Yep, he enjoys the city. He enjoys the team. I can't say the same about Cavada. He never really mentioned anything about the city like McTominay does. You know, so
But
he wants to
listen,
be here.
the overwhelming reason that we ended up not keeping Cavada, the overwhelming reason was because he wasn't given. I remember it was 6-5 that he asked for the year after the Scudetto,
Mhm.
and he wasn't given it. He was like, "Oh no, we'll wait a little bit. You know, we don't really need to extend him right now. We'll wait a." That's the number one overwhelming reason why we ended up losing Cavada. We can't do that with McTominay. We
Yep.
can't. Like, I'm not saying that it's surprising we didn't extend him already after the Scudetto. A little bit different because of his age. Cavada was younger, you know what I mean? But Cavada did win the Scudetto after a 33-year wait too. Like, so it was a moment where Cavada was in a position to ask for a new contract and to make a lot more.
Yeah.
Absolutely, he was. McTominay, not as much because of his age. It was the second Scudetto. You know, we didn't like blow everybody out like we did with Cavada. You know what I mean? So him not asking for an extension right away, I get it. But he's going to ask for one this summer. Don't
He should.
fuck this up.
He should.
Don't fuck it up, man. The
Definitely.
dude is way too important to our current success.
Yep. I agree.
Way too important.
Yep. I mean, it's almost like history is like repeating itself here because Cavada won the Scudetto, got the MVP. McTominay won the Scudetto, got the MVP. It's almost like it's tracing back to another chance that we can get to give someone the money they deserve. We know he's that good. We made the mistake one time. Let's not do it again.
Yeah, man.
Right. I don't know. So extend him, give him another $2 million a year, put a couple more years on that contract, and keep him as long as you can. Right. God forbid he goes to some team like PSG.
Yeah. And the other thing that makes me have positive thoughts about this, right, is Cavada when he was, you know, still negotiating when Conte was our coach. He wasn't playing very good because of the system more than anything else. Like Cavada was still making impact often enough to where you could still see that he's that player.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like the Scudetto season, and a lot of that had to do with Conte's system. And some of that you can put on Cavada because Cavada didn't want to adjust it all, right? McTominay has adjusted every single time he's been asked to do anything. He's done it. Never had an attitude. I mean, just this last game, man, he wanted to play through that pain he was having in his glute. The dude's a leader, bro. He is a leader. Cavada was not a leader. McTominay is. Give him the fucking contract. When he asks for the money he wants, give it to him. Don't screw this up. You know?
Definitely. All right, guys. Well,
as you can see, I'm worried about that. So.
I'm not too worried. I don't think we'll make the same mistake again, especially, you know, Conte gets what he wants with ADL and, you know, determining
he does. And that's another reason I'm here. That's another reason I have positive thoughts is that Conte, if Conte had to say who's the most important player, like he did when he wanted to keep Cavada, he said we have to keep Cavada. He's definitely going to have the same opinion about McTominay. And I think Conte is still a little bit frustrated even today that they weren't able to figure out a contract for Cavada. We can't screw it up with McTominay, man. I think that Conte is going to make it so fucking clear, and the club has probably learned from that, and I don't think they're going to mess it up, man. But I am a little bit worried. I can't lie.
Those were the good days.
Positive thoughts, though.
Cavada and Osimhen, and they were something special. Anyways,
yeah, Osimhen's fucking contract was a mistake too. We saw that. He gave him way too much money, man. It's like, why did we do that?
When we know he didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So that'll be the end of the video. As always, if you liked the content, please be sure to drop the like, subscribe, and share with your family and friends. Leave a comment if you want for any questions or statements. Go for it. It's been like 2 weeks since we recorded a video, so Apologies, but people get busy. And with that being said, we must end the video in one way and one way only. Forza
Napoli.
sempre.
Why you?
Let's keep the win streak going. That's 2 in a row, baby. Roma
Let's do it.
next.